there was an embarrassing incident in the White House where Sir Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, was fully expecting the President Biden to join Sir Keir in announcing that they had authorized the Ukrainians to use British and American long-range missiles to reach deep inside of Russia. This had followed 2 days of talks in Kyiv between British Foreign Minister David Lamy and United States Secretary of State Antony Blinkin, at which Secretary Blinkin made clear and unambiguous hints that this permission would be given. And then apparently the Defense Department, the American Defense Department, sat down with the president and said, do you realize what will happen if you do this? Do you understand the significance of the retaliation and how much of it we can't defend against? What is your take on what happened in Washington when Prime Minister Starmer actually showed up with maps to designate where these long-range missiles were going to strike, and President Biden angrily said, we'll make no announcement today?
I should start by saying one thing's astonishing is how little publicity this has had in the UK, and how few people realise in the UK this completely mad warmongering proposition being touted by their Prime Minister. I think, of course, the other key event that happened there between the consultations with Department of Defense and then the meeting with Biden was a very strong intervention by Putin, saying this is an absolute red wine, and making plain that Russia did not rule out reacting with nuclear weapons, and saying that Russia would be at war with NATO. And I think a realization that Putin is serious, that you can't simply take it as a complete bluff and risk the entire future of humankind on the on the notion that Russia is going to accept to have parts of its country obliterated by long-range NATO missiles, and is not going to try to do anything in its own defense. The situation in Gaza and the Middle East, of course, leads us to despair at any restraint or moderation in the White House. But thankfully, actual, mass suicide, world suicide, does appear to be a step too much for those around Biden.
Here's Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov on Saturday. It's a very brief